When people speak of the Pacific Northwest, they often think of rainy cities or thick pine forests. But tucked beyond the well-traveled roads and postcard scenes is an Oregon that few have seen, wild, raw, and untamed. This land was carved by ancient fire and rising mountains, by rivers that still cut deep into the earth, and winds that have shaped dunes and coastlines for millennia. From high desert plateaus to glacier-fed lakes, from ghost towns with forgotten stories to the painted hills that wear time like layers, Oregon isn't just a place, it's an unfolding story. Far from the usual crowds and familiar postcards, here you'll find silence broken only by birds in flight, wind through pine, and the heartbeat of the wild. This is a journey through the unseen, the overlooked, the untouched, and the unforgettable. Welcome to Unseen Oregon. Before these cliffs echoed with the clink of climbing gear, before trail runners traced the river's edge, Smith Rock was shaped by time, not measured in centuries, but in millions of years. What you see here is the ancient legacy of volcanic violence. Around 30 million years ago, eruptions and lava flows blanketed this land. In the late 1800s, settlers passed through, naming this formation after a soldier, Private John Smith, though some say the truth of the name is still debated. But Smith Rock is more than a challenge to conquer. It is a monument to the Earth's ancient temper and quiet endurance, a place where past and present are carved in stone. In the quiet heart of eastern Oregon, the land begins to bleed color, not from flowers or trees, but from the earth itself. Welcome to the Painted Hills, where time has left its mark in reds, golds, and deep black shadows. If you're enjoying this journey through Oregon's hidden landscapes, consider subscribing. It's completely free, and it helps us continue exploring wonders for you. These rolling hills are not just beautiful. They are a geological time capsule, each layer a memory from millions of years ago. The red hues speak of ancient tropical climates, where rain was constant and iron in the soil oxidized like rust. The yellows and golds recall drier ages, and the black bands, those are remnants of old vegetative matter, perhaps the ashes of prehistoric wildfires. This land was once a lush floodplain, teeming with life, where early horses, camels, and saber-toothed predators roamed. Over 30 million years, volcanic ash buried the region repeatedly, compressing into layers of clay stone and preserving fossils of a lost world beneath the surface. Today, the Painted Hills are part of the John Day Fossil Beds National Monument, one of the richest fossil beds on Earth. But what draws people in isn't just science. It's the silence, the surreal beauty, and the way light plays across these alien forms. Here, the Earth doesn't just tell a story, it shows you every chapter, in color. At the heart of the Cascade Range lies a lake unlike any other in North America, not fed by rivers or streams, but by snowmelt and rain alone. Crater Lake fills the remnants of Mount Mazama, a massive volcano that once towered over the region. Nearly 7,700 years ago, a cataclysmic eruption emptied its magma chamber, and the mountain collapsed inward, forming a vast caldera nearly 6 miles wide. Ashland is located in southern Oregon near the California border, between the Siskiyou and Cascade mountain ranges. It was founded in the 1850s as a milling town during westward expansion and quickly became a supply center for settlers and miners traveling through the region. Today, Ashland and the surrounding Rogue Valley combine agriculture, history, and scenic views. The valley is bordered by mountains, with a moderate climate that attracts residents, artists, and visitors year-round. Vista House stands at Crown Point, over 700 feet above the Columbia River, offering panoramic views of the Columbia River Gorge. It was completed in 1918 as part of the historic Columbia River Highway and served as a rest stop and memorial to Oregon pioneers. The structure was designed in the Art Nouveau style by Portland architect Edgar Lazarus. Its octagonal shape, domed roof, and use of local materials like sandstone and marble made it one of the most architecturally unique roadside buildings of its time. The Columbia River Highway itself was the first scenic highway in the United States, constructed between 1913 and 1922. The route was built to connect travelers from Portland to the Dalles, with access to Oregon's waterfalls, cliffs, and forested ridgelines. At the time, it was considered a major achievement in American highway design. Today, the Vista House remains a popular stop along the historic Columbia River Highway and a registered National Historic Landmark. The Columbia River Gorge stretches for over 80 miles along the border between Oregon and Washington. It was carved by a combination of volcanic activity, tectonic uplift, and a series of massive glacial floods at the end of the last ice age, nearly 15,000 years ago. Today, the gorge is home to more than 90 waterfalls on the Oregon side alone, many of them concentrated along the historic Columbia River Highway. Latourell Falls is located in the western section of the Columbia River Gorge, just off the historic Columbia River Highway in Guy W. Talbot State Park. The waterfall drops 224 feet in a single vertical plunge, one of the few in the region without any major tiers or cascades. It flows over a cliff of exposed columnar basalt, a volcanic rock formed millions of years ago by ancient lava flows. The Oregon Dunes National Recreation Area spans nearly 40 miles along the southern Oregon coast between Florence and Coos Bay. It's one of the largest temperate coastal sand dune systems in the world. Today, the dunes attract visitors for activities like sandboarding, ATV riding, hiking, and photography. Stretching over 360 miles, the Oregon coast remains one of the most undeveloped and publicly accessible coastlines in the United States. By law, every inch is open to the public, a rare policy that has preserved its natural beauty for generations. One of the most striking natural features is Thor's Well, located at Cape Perpetua. Often mistaken for a bottomless pit, it's a collapsed sea cave about 20 feet deep. At high tide, water rushes in, shoots upward, then disappears into the hole, creating the illusion that the ocean is being drained into the earth. The terrain varies sharply, from sheer basalt cliffs and wave-battered rock formations to wide sandy beaches and dense coastal forests. The Oregon coast is also home to a wide range of wildlife. Sea lions, tufted puffins, harbor seals, and migrating gray whales are often visible from roadside pullouts and cliffs. Perched on a rugged bluff north of Florence, Heseda Head Lighthouse has been guiding ships along the Oregon coast since 1894. Its beam, one of the strongest on the west coast, can be seen 21 nautical miles out at sea. The lighthouse stands 56 feet tall, but because it sits over 200 feet above sea level, its light reaches far across the Pacific. It was named after Spanish explorer Bruno de Heceta, who charted this part of the coast in the 1770s. Along stretches of the central and northern Oregon coast, quiet residential communities have been built into the cliffs overlooking the Pacific. These are not high-rise resorts, but individually designed homes, often used as retirement retreats or seasonal getaways. Oregon's ghost towns. Dozens of ghost towns still dot Oregon's high desert, remnants of once thriving mining and timber communities. Many were abandoned after gold or silver ran dry. Others faded with the collapse of rail routes or sawmills. At the southern edge of Klamath Lake lies one of the most vital wetland systems in the western United States, the Upper Klamath National Wildlife Refuge. If you're enjoying the journey through Oregon's unseen wonders, consider subscribing for more immersive explorations. These marshes, lakes, and floodplains create a habitat critical for migratory birds traveling along the Pacific Flyway, one of North America's major bird migration routes. Each year, over 1 million birds pass through this region. Species like sandhill cranes, American white pelicans, bald eagles, and dozens of duck and shorebird varieties depend on these wetlands for nesting, feeding, or resting during long migrations. The mix of open water, cattail marshes, and grasslands also supports fish, amphibians, and mammals, creating a diverse ecosystem at the intersection of desert and forest. The health of the Klamath Basin is closely tied to water, and the region has long been at the center of debates over water use, drought, and conservation. Despite those challenges, these wetlands continue to host one of the most spectacular bird migrations in the West, a reminder of the natural abundance hidden in Oregon's high desert. Towering over northern Oregon at over 11,200 feet, Mount Hood is the highest peak in the state, a dormant stratovolcano capped with glaciers year-round. It is home to 12 glaciers and permanent snowfields, supplying water to rivers like the Sandy and the Hood. Hood River sits just north of Mount Hood, where the Hood and Columbia rivers meet. Once a timber and fruit-packing town, it's now known for its orchards, vineyards, and windsurfing on the Columbia River. Located on the northern Oregon coast, Cannon Beach is a small coastal town known for its wide sandy shores, tide pools, and offshore rock formations. The town sits just south of Ecola State Park and about 90 miles west of Portland. The beach stretches for miles, bordered by the Pacific Ocean on one side and coastal forests and low-lying hills on the other. At low tide, exposed rock pools around Haystack Rock reveal starfish, anemones, and crabs, drawing visitors and marine researchers alike. During low tide, visitors can walk close to the base of the Haystack Rock, though climbing it is prohibited to protect fragile habitats. Sunset light transforms both the shoreline and the surrounding cliffs, offering one of the most photographed natural scenes in the Pacific Northwest. Just south of Thor's Well is another coastal blowhole, the Spouting Horn. Here, waves are funneled through sea caves and forced upward through a narrow opening in the rock, releasing pressurized jets of seawater into the air. The result is a geyser-like spray that can reach several meters high. In the mountainous regions of Oregon, highways wind through dense summer forests, rocky outcrops, and high-altitude terrain. These roads were engineered to follow the natural contours of the land, minimizing environmental impact while allowing access to some of the state's most remote wilderness. Built around bare basalt and granite outcrops, these scenic drives reveal the raw geology of the state. Exposed cliffs, twisted formations, and steep drop-offs that tell the story of volcanic upheaval and erosion over millions of years. Emigrant Lake is located just southeast of Ashland in Jackson County, Oregon. It was created in the early 1920s by damming Emigrant Creek and later expanded in the 1960s to provide irrigation and recreational use. In spring and early summer, the surrounding hillsides often bloom with purple vetch, a hardy legume commonly found in Oregon's open grasslands and disturbed areas. The Devil's Punchbowl is a collapsed sea cave located along the central Oregon coast, near the small community of Otter Rock in Lincoln County. The site is accessible via Highway 101 and is one of the most geologically unique coastal formations on the Oregon shoreline. Pilot Rock is a volcanic plug rising over 570 feet above the surrounding terrain in the Siskiyou Mountains of southern Oregon. If you're enjoying this journey, consider subscribing. It's free and truly means a lot to us. Your support helps keep documentaries like this alive. Today, Pilot Rock is a popular spot for hiking and climbing, offering panoramic views of southern Oregon and northern California from its summit. The Willamette Valley stretches over 150 miles through western Oregon, bounded by the Coast Range to the west and the Cascades to the east. It's home to over 700 wineries and is the heart of Oregon's wine production. Recognized globally for its wine quality, the Willamette Valley is divided into several American viticultural areas, AVAs, including Dundee Hills, Eola Amity Hills, and Yamhill Carlton. These vineyards not only drive the local economy, but also shape the cultural identity of rural Western Oregon. The Willamette River flows northward for nearly 190 miles through the heart of Western Oregon, cutting through one of the most fertile agricultural regions in the Pacific Northwest, the Willamette Valley. The surrounding farmland is laid out in large rectangular plots, often bordered by tree lines or irrigation canals. In the city of Eugene, the Willamette River flows through the urban landscape, flanked by parks, bike paths, and green belts. The river serves as both a natural resource and a defining feature of the community. Eugene is the second largest city in Oregon and home to the University of Oregon. The river corridor connects neighborhoods, recreation areas, and the downtown core, making it one of the most accessible sections of the Willamette. In downtown Portland, Oregon, multiple railway lines converge near the Willamette River using historic steel bridges that link the city's east and west sides. This scene shows two freight trains meeting briefly before diverging, each heading in a different direction. One north toward Washington, the other south toward the Willamette Valley in California. Just beyond the city core, suburban neighborhoods stretch outward in geometric grids and winding cul-de-sacs. In autumn, the tree-lined streets burst into deep reds, golds, and amber, a seasonal display that blankets the region from the riverbanks to the hillsides. From above, the harmony between city and landscape is unmistakable, a Pacific Northwest signature. What you've just seen is only a glimpse, a quieter Oregon, often left behind in travel brochures and rarely captured in mainstream media. These aren't just places. They're pieces of time, preserved through isolation, shaped by wind, water, and fire. From collapsed calderas to silent ghost towns, this journey wasn't only about discovery, it was about reflection, about slowing down and seeing what still stands when no one is watching. If you're enjoying this kind of storytelling, if you believe there's value in places that don't chase attention, please take a moment to subscribe. It might seem small, but it genuinely helps this work reach more people who care about real, meaningful stories like this one. Oregon has shown us that the most powerful moments often come not from what's advertised, but from what's nearly forgotten. And if this film brought you closer to that idea, then thank you for being part of this journey. Your time matters, your support matters, and with it, we'll keep uncovering the unseen, one landscape at a time.